Heard about a job. Big shot gangster putting together crew.
I'm a driver, and I'm a flyer. I waited a long time for a shot like this. What do you think? Well, what do you know?
You got a line on a ship?
Yeah, I know a guy. He's the best smuggler around.
I heard a story about you. I was wondering if it's true.
Everything you've heard about me is true.
L3!
Let go of the mean man's face.
Who are these guys?
If you come with us, you're in this life for good.
You might want to buckle up, baby.
Here they come! Let me give you some advice. Assume everyone will betray you, and you will never be disappointed.
Aloha! This is Trinidad the Island Man, your Island Man, coming to you live once again from beautiful Hawaii here on the island of Oahu, bringing you, yes you, the best movie reviews on the entire island of Oahu. And last night, Friday night, opening night, I saw Solo, A Star Wars Story. And, well, without further ado, remember our rating scale, shock a thumbs up. It's good to see, I recommend it. Shock a thumbs down. It's bad to see, it's junk, I don't recommend it. And for Solo, A Star Wars Story, it is a shock a thumbs down. Now I know what you're saying. This is Star Wars, Island Man. What the heck are you saying? You know, it's got to be good. But, you know, as many of you know with The Last Jedi, who were on the fence with that, hit or miss, and I gave that a shock a thumbs up. But I did say that, you know, it's close. It's going to alienate a lot of fans, and I wasn't satisfied with it. And again, with Solo, A Star Wars Story, I also was not satisfied with the story. So despite the costuming, despite the great special effects, despite some standout character performances by Paul Bettany, Emily Clark from Game of Thrones, even this newcomer, I think, who I thought was voiced, who voices the robot L337, who I thought was Brienne, Game of Tarth's woman's voice, that actress, but it wasn't. It turned out to be somebody named Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who sounded just like Brienne. So if they ever do a cartoon Game of Thrones or whatever, get her and save yourself some money, I guess. Because she sounded spot on. And I was so happy because I was thinking, oh, they finally did, like, at least they gave Captain Phasma, a voice for other robots. So at least she had finally a good part. And it wasn't even her in the movie. David Glover is exceptional. So the entire cast, even Eldridge Edgington, was good as, his character Han Solo. But, the overall story was the weak part of it. It was a fantastic and a fun-filled ride of a science fiction movie, but it didn't really feel like Star Wars. We get Han Solo's backstory. He grew up poor, an orphan, scrounging on the streets, along with Emily Clark's character, who he fell in love with at an early age and held a torch for all the way through, I guess, up until he met Princess Leia, which is why he didn't really trust too many people in his life. That and Woody Harrelson being kind of his mentor tells him not to trust people. You can see that in the trailer. Because they'll only let you down. And, well, he is let down. And I fear so are you as a fan of Star Wars. Like I said, this is a good standalone science fiction movie. Very much I felt equivalent to like the early 70s knockoffs of Star Wars, such as Star Crash, Battle Beyond the Stars. All of those felt very similar to Solo a Star Wars story. There are homages, there are little references to the other Star Wars movies. I think the major one is the prequel, where Kira, Emily Clarkson's character, a little bit of a spoiler, in the end, she does not get with Han Solo. You know, surprise. Yet it seems that she becomes a disciple maybe of Darth Maul, but you know, that's just clipped on to the end, just seemingly out of nowhere. I mean, it does seem to have some canon from the Clone War cartoon, especially the short, where there was a human-like being who had studied the dark ways with, maybe Darth Maul or the Emperor, who runs into Luke and pushes him over the edge in the Clone Wars. Again, but you're not sure if you hadn't seen the Clone Wars, and even I, watching just a little bit of it, I am not 100% sure that's that character, but I believe it is. I don't know. You know, maybe somebody who's read more of the books would know who this character turns out to be exactly. But that's who I suspect it is. Some references to Jabba at the end, so we see where Han gets on the path to go to Tatooine to meet, everybody in Star Wars. But again, as a good standalone science fiction movie, I would say it is passable. But as a Star Wars movie where you're expecting to get all the feels that you do from Star Wars, even like the best example of Rogue One, where I felt like, wow, this really nailed a Star Wars movie for not being a Star Wars movie. It just doesn't link up, and there's some time issues, like Darth Maul's alive, so it must be during the prequels, and I guess that would make sense with a younger, young adult Han Solo. I guess he would be the age of I guess Ben Kenobi, being taught by his master, just at the very beginning of the prequels. But you don't really get a time frame other than in a galaxy far, far away. So who knows exactly? And that's to the discredit of the movie, unfortunately, that you don't know when all this is taking place in the timelines. From here to here to here to Rogue One to the very first prequel to Star Wars and then this new story. But Alden Ehrenreich does do a fine job as Han Solo, but then again, it's not King Lear. Harrison Ford never was doing like, King Lear or Shakespeare when he was doing Han Solo. So it's like his acting of his portrayal of Han Solo in this film is quite passable, acceptable. I fault the story overall, which again is not a reflection on Ron Howard. It's brilliantly directed, very well crafted. He just it wasn't his story. And so he took what the mess was with the other directors who were fired, and he made a workable science fiction film, that just didn't hit all the beats that a Star Wars movie should. It attempted to, and we even see maybe a touch of Ron Howard homage to George Lucas' American Graffiti with a race scene that felt a little bit like J.J. Abrams' reboot of Star Wars, where Kirk is racing the Corvette against the space motorcycle cop robot. But that turns out to be kind of funny. But it just felt a little bit like that. So a little bit American Graffiti, where he's racing a land speeder through the streets, which was kind of nice. But again, overall, if you're a die-hard Star Wars fan looking for your fix before whatever comes after The Last Jedi, I have to give it a shock of thumbs down. It's just not strong enough to spend full price for, or 3D. If you want, go see the matinee, but it's definitely something to watch on iTunes, Netflix when it comes out, streaming. When it's on TV at cable and somebody's watching it, at home, and you're flipping through the channels and it comes on, yeah, you know, you'll be satisfied enough to sit there and watch it. But to go to the theater and see it, you know, it's okay. I mean, small kids did enjoy it. There were some small kids in the theater, and they chuckled a lot more than I did. So, you know, again, it just wasn't a strong enough film to me to rate a shock a thumbs up. All right, thank you so much. This is Trinidad the Island Man, your Island Man, giving, unfortunately, Solo, a Star Wars story, a shock a thumbs down. All right, thank you so much, and aloha.